So the Interim Blue Drop Watch report of 2023 has painted a bleak picture on the state of South Africa's water infrastructure. The independent testing of water in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Pretoria, Gqeberha has found that across those cities, drinking water at the test taps is generally safe and clean and often of a very high quality. However, Cape Town and Bloemfontein sites have raised some red flags. To unpack this further, we're joined via Zoom by the Director General for the Department of Water and Sanitation, Dr. Sean Phillips. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Good afternoon, Liesl, and good afternoon to your viewers.
For context's sake, perhaps you could speak to the revelations of the Interim Blue Drop Watch report for 2023 of South Africa's drinking water. What was unearthed there?
Thank you. So we do the Blue Drop report every 2 years. This year we are going to be doing the full Blue Drop report and releasing the results by the end of September. But in June we released an interim report, which we called a watch report, which was based on drinking water systems in all the municipalities. In each municipality in the country, we tested at least 1 or 2 drinking water systems. Some municipalities have as many as 10 or 15 different drinking water systems. So for our interim report, we sampled 1 or 2 per municipality. And in that sampling, what we do is we follow very high level of standards set by the South African Bureau of Standards. And they are issued in terms of a South African national standard called SANS 241, which is based on World Health Organization standards for drinking water quality. And those require that you look at the tests that are done by the municipality over a previous year at different points in their distribution systems, such as at the water treatment works, at the reservoirs, and at the delivery points where water comes out through taps.
All right.
So we looked at the tests done by the municipalities across the country, all the municipalities, and we found that approximately 50% of the water systems that we'd looked at didn't meet the South African national standards for drinking water during the 21-22 financial year when they did all their tests for 50% of the municipalities in terms of microbiological quality, and for 70% of the municipalities in terms of chemical quality.
Thank you for that context, Dr. Sean. At this point, there were some red flags that had been cited in both Cape Town and Bloemfontein. Perhaps you could speak to why so and what you'll be doing about that to correct the problem at large. We see numerous challenges facing the delivery of water and sanitation services across South Africa.
So, Liesl, we issued our Blue Drop Watch report, which is based on a sample of drinking water systems in all municipalities, as I described. There's been a separate independent investigation by News 24, which only did tests on some drinking water systems in 6 of the metropolitan municipalities. It was that independent testing done by News 24 which found some issues with the turbidity of the water in Cape Town. We didn't find, in our testing that we didn't find any issues with the turbidity of the water, drinking water in Cape Town. On the 2 drinking water systems that we looked at in Cape Town for our watch report, we found that it met the South African standards both in terms of microbiological quality and in terms of chemical quality. The difference between the results might be due to various reasons. As I indicated, the standards that we use are very high, and they're based on a year's worth of tests at various points. So there's a lot more different tests that we look at than the few tests that were done by News 24. When News 24 did their test, there might have been a particular temporary problem which caused an increase in turbidity in one of the pipes, for example, near where they were testing in Cape Town.
Thank you for clarifying that, Dr. Sean, because, at this point, I want to look at the way forward. And given the myriad of challenges that have been unearthed, you've seen instances of aging infrastructure, lack of maintenance, capacity and skills development. Perhaps also in relation to the municipalities, we've got municipal consumer debt and poor finance management system. Where to from here? How we begin to correct that? We need to look at plans of recovery in regards to the different issues.
Okay, Liesl, firstly, I'd just like to point out that despite the fact that our standards are higher, and that the kind of test that we looked at are different in our Blue Drop Watch report than in this independent testing. We've reached a similar conclusion in that our results indicated that in the metropolitan municipalities, for the test period that we did, that most of the metros had good results and that their water passed their microbiological and chemical quality tests. And these independent testers for News 24 found the same. The problem is more in the smaller municipalities and in the rural municipalities. So most of the metros did well in terms of our tests, but many of the smaller municipalities and the rural municipalities do not do so well. And that's for various reasons, including that they have a lower, smaller revenue base, but also because of weaknesses with governance and management in those smaller municipalities. So to address this problem, we are strengthening our role as the regulator, as the Department of Water and Sanitation, in various ways, including we are developing amendments to the Water Services Act, which will enable us to intervene more effectively as the regulator and as a last resort, where necessary, if a municipality is not responding to offers of support to improve things and is not responding to directives to improve things, we can step in as the department and ensure that a capable and qualified water service provider is appointed by the municipality to provide the services to standard.
All right, Dr. Sean Phillips, we'll leave that conversation there. And thank you for your time with us on the SABC, clarifying those matters. The Director General for the Department of Water and Sanitation, Dr. Sean Phillips.